don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud. Shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express.
Celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7. I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Make sure you head over to mypillow.com. Check them out. They got all kind of great Christmas presents. It's coming up. Plus, you need to treat yourself. Get some new bed sheets. I'm telling you right now, my favorite is the MyPillow slippers. And especially this time of year. I don't wear slippers in the summer, but as it starts getting a little bit colder, you'll see me in my MyPillow slippers, even sometimes in the airport when we're traveling because they're that comfortable. Welcome back to Show 2 today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all. I was just going through here checking some emails right now. I got some weird stuff. If you guys didn't see earlier, we had outages. My Verizon is back up now, but my Verizon phone was down up until about 1 o'clock today here on the left coast. Amazon, their servers, a lot of people were affected. Some say AT&T. I mean, there was a list, and it was just crazy how many things were out over those servers having an issue. So I was looking, I was just looking right now, and some even Venmo, crazy stuff. Don't know what it means, but Venmo was having problems. It was just so dependent on these servers and everything. So welcome back. We got a lot to talk about today. We got some epic stuff. We had the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals rule that Trump can deploy the National Guard in Oregon, in Portland. Maybe they've watched some of the videos instead of listened to Democrats. We'll get into that. We also have some funny stuff I didn't get to add this morning. One of the videos that Trump posted, an AI-generated video, and there was outrage on the left, and they even asked Speaker Mike Johnson about it, and it was funny if you look at his face. We struck a rare earth minerals deal with Australia. We're going to talk about that. And there was actually a funny thing involved in that. You got comedian Trump. And we just got a whole lot of stuff to go through today. It's going to be absolutely epic. We even got a De Niro video because De Niro's calling Stephen Miller a Nazi. Oh, man. And we're going to talk about some other things, get your takes, your opinions on it. We are ready to rock and roll. I hope you are. And I still haven't even had time yet. Roberto had the GoPro. And so he filmed walking around outside the No Kings protest. I haven't even got to look at 1 second of that film, but I did get to clip one more edit when it came to my video that I took out there. And I was really trying to liven up the crowd, guys. I felt bad. You had all these senior citizens out there, white senior citizens. As you can see, I'm white. I'm just darker than the white. When it comes to these old folks' homes, they try to keep you out of the sun a little bit, which is good. Skin cancer's a major problem. But I'm going to show you one of the videos we just added on X right now. Take a look at this. I was trying my best, guys. I was. Take a listen to this right here.
Come on, guys, they're chanting. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Come on, get some enthusiasm out here. The news is gonna come by and they're gonna act like you all came from a senior center or something. Get up, get up. Come on, guys, they're chanting. Hey, hey.
I'm trying to help them out, I said I'm trying to help them out. But you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to go through the comments too. So we're going to go through the comments really quick. We'll play that, I'm sure, later on when we get some more people in here. We got Renee, Kathy Richardson, Old Uncle Bill, Sugar Bear, Trina, First Amendment Media, Becky Boo, Deb V, Bean Mikey in the house, Kathy Richardson. Let's see who else. Let's see. I got to open up the phone too because it doesn't show me when subscriptions hit up here. Carol Burton, Donna Ralph, Newfie Guy. Let me go down to the bottom now. Karen Sunflower in the house. Did I say Jan Garner with that beautiful American flag? Miss Hayes. Kaylee's in the house. Guess what, Kaylee? Your package went out today, and there'll be a little surprise. There's a couple extra hats in there and an Oreo Army sticker. So you should receive it by Thursday. So thank you for entering the raffle last week and appreciate your support. So look forward to that. Rachel actually left a little while ago to get that dropped off and rocking and rolling. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Kaylee, and thank you everybody else that helps us out here with our viewer-funded media. So let's move on. We'll play that again when we talk about some of the protests. That was pretty good. I don't know if you guys know this. I know a lot of people are critical about what's going on in the United States, but this is still a place where you can come from nothing and become anything. Even the president. It was 1 year ago, Mr. Donald Trump was serving French fries at McDonald's. One of the biggest, look at this. I mean, the guy goes from that, and it wouldn't be that much longer. The man was driving a garbage truck and straight to the White House. The opportunities here in this country are just absolutely incredible. And there we have the current president of the United States. I'll tell you what, talk about owning social media. Talk about knowing how to campaign. When they called us MAGA garbage, he got into a Trump garbage truck. He used everything against them. They didn't know what to do. They were drowning. And instead of sending out a little life vest, he put the foot on the head, pushed down a little more, and said, we're taking back the White House. We're fixing America. And that's what we're seeing today. As we know, we had, I guess you could say, a No Kings protest. We don't have a king in the United States. He was actually elected with a great, for the turnout, great election, won all 7 swing states. Like, that just doesn't happen for Republicans anymore because, you know, we do own social media right now, but they own all the lamestream media. They own legacy media. When you turn on your 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock news, what do you have? You have the propaganda talking points from the left. I mean, so much for so that they don't even hide their disgust for President Trump. And it's just absolutely insane. But that was 1 year ago today, guys. I seen that and I was like, that was just absolutely epic. Absolutely epic. We actually did a raffle with one of those garbage trucks. Caden wanted it. I still got to get him one, maybe for Christmas. I just wanted to provide an update earlier. An Illinois State University teaching assistant that I believe it was on Friday flipped the tables on a Turning Point USA hosting event where they were just having a table session where they were handing out information. This was from Fox News. We covered the video in the first show today. And this was, I got this a little while ago. It says that he has been fired after he was captured on video flipping a Turning Point USA table and tearing up the group's flyers. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. And they did the right thing. I don't care, conservative, liberal, independent, whack job. When you have students out there exercising their First Amendment right, even if it's things I disagree with and they're doing it peacefully, they weren't blocking Jewish folks from coming onto class like Democrats did for 2 years. They weren't being violent, blocking the roads, setting up a homeless encampment like this is how we live in our country. We're going to do it here in the United States too. None of that. None of that. And it's just classy folks that they have volunteering for Turning Point USA. And I think it's a good thing. Also, an update on this guy right
find
here.
out and how much
That said you got to grab a gun and go after ICE. We covered that this morning if you missed the first show. Well, Department of Homeland Security put out this statement. It says, during the Chicago No Kings rally this previous weekend, violent rioters called for the cold-blooded murder of ICE agents. This rioter and his statements have been referred to the DOJ. There is no place in America for psychotic incitements of unlawful violence against ICE or CBP. To those who threaten violence against us, we will hunt you down, we will find you, and justice will be served. Take a look at the video they put up.
Grab the guns! We gotta turn around the guns on this fascist system! These ICE agents gotta get shot and wiped out!
All right, today we're going to talk about how we can find out and how much we can find out. The more you f*** around, the more you're going to find out.
So that video is actually posted by Department of Homeland Security, and I kind of like it. What was it? He worked at a college, right? I can't remember everything from the first show, but I'm pretty sure that this lunatic worked for a college in Illinois. If you're willing to say that in front of a large crowd with cameras there, can you imagine what you're doing and what you're talking to your students about, or just people on that campus? That's concerning to me. Those are the things that concern me. This is a homegrown terrorist right here. So it's just crazy. Just crazy what we're seeing, folks. So Donald Trump, he knows how to own social media. He knows how to get people worried about AI generated posts. So Donald Trump put this post up. And I'm going to show it to you. And then, oh man, when I seen it, I just started laughing. And then I'm going to show you some of the how Democrats are so worried about this. Here we go. King Trump, and he's dropping poop on Harry's head on the No Kings protesters. That was King Trump. So he posted that in his Trump form, having some fun. He's a funny guy. And the libtards lost their mind. He can't joke. He can't joke. He can't have fun. Take a listen.
This is actually,
he went on Don Lemon, folks. And I know I don't want to torture you guys with both Don Lemon and some foreigner named Harry, but take a listen to this. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Why won't it play? Hold on, I gotta refresh that one. I hate when it does this, folks. Let me pull this back up. Yeah, computer's hot. We'll get that computer taken care of.
actually bigger than me. I know that. Yeah, I think this is actually bigger than me. I know that this video was attacking me, but there were also millions of Americans that were also displayed in that video, also getting attacked by the president of the United States. So he's attacking me in a petty, gross, disgusting way. But I think the more concerning story here is that, I think this is his genuine feelings toward peaceful protest, that if he could, he would attack in some way, shape, or form the people who dissent. So I don't think that this is it's just about me or like the gross attack. I think this is a broader, more concerning story surrounding the Trump act.
So concerning, Harry, an AI generated video. I was sitting here crying. I was called garbage. I was called a deplorable. I was called many things, and I never cried. I just went and fought. And you were fighting for illegal aliens. You were fighting for criminals to be out on the streets. You were fighting against our own law enforcement. The party of defund the police, acting like they support them for a moment. Give me a break. I think there's more going on right between those two. Don Lemon does like white guys, even though he said they're terrorists of the country. So I think there's some backing up on Harry's part on that, pushing back up against Don Lemon. Bernie Sanders came out and said Trump is posting AI videos of himself dropping feces on American cities. Yes, this is the kind of contempt that Trump has and his fellow oligarchs have for ordinary Americans. Trump is the only one putting ordinary Americans first when Gavin Newsom and Democrats like yourself want health care for illegal aliens while American citizens like me can't afford my prescriptions. So you tell me, Bernie, who's putting America first? Who's putting the citizens first? Who's stopping the climate scam that are costing us all trillions of dollars to make your buddies and environmentalists richer? I thought it was funny. I really did. I loved it. And kind of softens the tone, if you will. This is when Mike Johnson was asked about it, and I thought it was great because look at Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson is Speaker of the House. Trump does some pretty funny things, and the news wants to act like this is a big deal. They posted AI. They have nothing better to do? No, they don't, because they want to try to make Trump look bad. And I don't think there's one person that's seen this that knows that Trump's been the president now for 4.5 years that thinks this is concerning. It was funny. He dropped a pile of crap on a crappy person and crappy people for that matter. Take a listen.
It's over the weekend released a video of him pooping on the American people.
The president uses social media.
Video of him pooping on the American people.
The president uses social media to make the point. You can argue he's probably the most effective person who's ever used social media for that. He is using satire to make a point. He is not calling for the murder of his political opponents, and that's what these people are doing. I mean, they're in one of these photos. I think there's a picture of the president hanging in effigy by a noose on one of these. One on the far end. I mean, it's unconscionable. Look, America is built on the idea of free speech. You have the right to protest. Of course, we jealously guard that. I mean, Chip and I are attorneys. We've defended that right in the courts. But what they're doing right now is different. They are trying to incite violence. It's not funny. You don't mock a president who has already had 2 failed assassination attempts on his life. This is not a game. And the idea that communists would be supporting this is unconscionable to me.
Communist. It was a communist socialist party this weekend for the No Kings. Yeah, like I said, I'll show you that video again here in a little while that we did out there. But check this one out. Check this one out. Man, let me ask you guys a question. Who's washed up? Who is washed up? I think I told him he was washed up. Let's take a listen to this right here. This poor guy. Man, have you seen a picture of his kid? Yeah, one of them.
He will not. We see it. We see it all the time. He will not want to leave. He set it up with his, I guess he's the Goebbels of the cabinet. Stephen Miller. He's a Nazi. Yes, he is, and he's Jewish, and he should be ashamed of himself.
A Jewish Nazi. A Jewish Nazi, folks. Holy cow. Let me do something. Let me put in De Niro Oreo Express and see what pops up right here. Because I'm a gangsta. I'm a gangsta. Let's see.
Robert De Niro, a paid sellout for the DNC. A paid sellout to the DNC. Robert De Niro, a paid sellout. A paid sellout. Are you on Epstein's client list? Are you on Epstein's client list?
That got him. That got him.
You think by yelling and intimidating. You think by yelling and intimidating. You're not going to intimidate. That's what Trump does, to try to intimidate. We are going to fight back.
You're washed up. You're washed up. You're washed up.
We're trying to be gentlemen in this world.
You're washed up.
You are gangster.
You're washed up.
You are gangster.
You're washed up.
I just love it. I just love it. That poor guy. Just crazy. Just absolutely insane. Now, I want to have a little discussion here. I have talked about this for quite a while. When I've brought up marijuana use, when I've talked about California legalizing it. So the Supreme Court is taking up a case that will consider whether people who regularly smoke marijuana can legally own guns. And I'm going to tell you my take on it. If marijuana is legal, I can promise you more gun accidents. I mean, because people smoke marijuana. You think they tell the truth on their little application. But I mentioned this in California. I mentioned this to even some of my friends that smoke weed. And I said, you notice they legalized it. And when you fill out a form to get a gun, it asks you if you smoke marijuana. And I said, you write no on there, you get your gun and everything. And then you walk into these weed shops. And every time they go in there, they ask for your ID. They scan your ID. The government knows every time you go into a marijuana shop, right? And I said, I think this is a way in the future, maybe not right now, when things get a little worse here in California. Gavin Newsom has us on the road to communism right now. If you've been to California, if you've seen our homeless crisis, if you've seen our infrastructure crisis, if you've seen the cost of living here in California. But I sit here and I don't know how they're going to rule with the conservative majority. But if you have marijuana, which they are going to, from what I understand, decriminalize federally. I'll tell you what. You're telling me that a guy who can sit home and drink a fifth of Jack Daniels with a gun and get all blitzed and blazed off alcohol, and I used to drink pretty heavily, so I know, is okay owning a gun. But a guy who sits here and does the same thing with marijuana isn't okay owning a gun. My opinion on it is, obviously I don't want people on controlled substance, and I don't want anybody under the influence of anything handling a weapon. It's not safe, right? There's laws against that already. But it says the Supreme Court will consider whether people who regularly smoke marijuana can legally own guns. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, if it's legal, I mean, I can smell it when I walk through my neighborhood sometimes, and it's everything from teachers to you name it out there that smoke marijuana. Not something I would recommend you do. But I just think that's an infringement on Second Amendment rights. J. Law Bronco brings up another one, SSRIs. We talk about SSRIs all the time. A lot of, it's speculated, allegedly, I'll say that a lot of these people that shoot up these kids that have some really disturbing mental health conditions and shoot up schools and stuff, that they are on SSRIs. I wonder how this will go. Again, people might disagree with my take on it, but if, I honestly, and I've said this before, I've known people that's done both for many years of my life, and I've seen alcohol destroy people 5 times worse than I ever had see somebody lighten something up. And that's just my personal observation. And you're telling me that a person that smokes marijuana, and again, how do you determine regularly? What if it was somebody who says, oh, it's Friday night, I've worked 60 hours this week, I'm going to go in the backyard, and too old to stress. Actually, it's already a law. It's actually already a law. This would change the law. So it's not a gun grab. They already have that. I wonder, let me see if I can pull something up really quick. Federal firearm application. I'll show you the application. It asks you. I think it's right here. Form 5310. I just want to see the form, people. I don't want to. Never mind. Let me do this. Federal firearms application form marijuana question. The 4473 form specifically asks if a firearm purchaser is an unlawful user of marijuana. Even if marijuana use is legal in your state, it is still illegal under federal law. So automatically, most people that smoke marijuana, they lie on that form. I'm just being honest with you. And so it's already against the law now. They will, if you put yes there, you're not getting your firearm. So this could change it. And it says the Supreme Court said Monday that it will consider whether people who regularly smoke marijuana can legally own guns. Now, regularly smoke marijuana, is that daily? Is that weekly? Is that monthly? I hate those vague terms. It says the latest firearm case to come before the court since its 2022 decision expanding gun rights. It says President Donald Trump's administration asked the justices to revive a case against a Texas man charged with a felony because he allegedly had a gun in his home and acknowledged to being a regular pot smoker. The Justice Department appealed after a lower court largely struck down a law that bars people who use any illegal drugs from having guns. Last year, a jury convicted Hunter Biden of violating the law. Among other charges, his father, then President Joe Biden, later pardoned him. It says arguments will probably take place in early 2026 with a decision likely to be by early summer. It says the Republican administration favors Second Amendment rights, but government attorneys argued that this ban is justifiable restriction. So it looks like our government, I don't know if that means the Trump administration. Yeah. So again, so the way this is reading, it's almost like the Trump administration wants to ensure that, and I disagree with this wholeheartedly. The reason why is, again, how do you know if someone's a habitual? I mean, maybe if they take a picture of themselves every day with a joint in their mouth. But I just look at that, and I told you guys this. I told you way back when they legalized marijuana, and I compared it to the form, whatever it was, Form 4473. It asked an unlawful user of marijuana. And everybody's an unlawful user of marijuana in the United States because it's federally against the law. Now, Trump did, even in his campaign, state that he would lower the threshold of marijuana and the way it's classified. So we're going to see how that goes. I think it's absolutely, I don't know. Like I said, I've seen alcohol destroy so many people's lives. I've seen personally, well, back in my days when we used to go out and drink party, a dummy that's drunk with a gun. And so I don't know. I don't want anything other than, I mean, even when they take away guns from felons, I don't agree with that unless the felon used a gun committing the act. You go rob a bank with a gun, you shoot somebody with a gun, okay. You go out and get a felony and they're like, oh, you can't have a gun for 7 years. Why? I beat the shit out of the guy. Pardon my language. But I didn't use a firearm. I just wanted to fight him. Well, it was a felony assault. So you can't own a gun now. That makes no sense to me. Yes, B. Mikey says, pretty sure Trump is in favor of legalizing weed. Yes, that's what I remember from those statements too. How about this? We had some breaking news today. If any of you guys have seen the news, a man who allegedly threatened to shoot up Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport was arrested after entering the terminal at the airport on Monday. Now, he entered the terminal and they arrested him. They went and found an AR-15 in his vehicle. I got 2 videos on this one I'll share with you guys.
Right now, and here's what we know. Our affiliates learning that a convicted felon was allegedly planning to shoot up the Atlanta airport today, the world's busiest airport, armed with an AR. And that suspect reportedly did get inside the airport before police quickly stopped him. So here's a live look at Hartsfield-Jackson right now. And here's what we know. Our affiliate source says that this felon did a FaceTime call with family members, allegedly telling them his plans to shoot up the Atlanta airport. Someone reportedly notified police after that call, who then found the suspect's car outside of the airport. It was blocking traffic, but the suspect was not inside. Police reportedly did end up finding the felon inside of the airport. They grabbed him, took him into custody, and authorities reportedly found that AR-15 while searching his car. Our Fox affiliate is also reporting that they had a camera at the airport all morning. It was very busy, and nobody saw anything. So it seems this whole incident was kept pretty quiet, but we're hoping to learn more from APD very soon. There is a press conference scheduled for about 15 minutes from now, but obviously a lot of questions as to how this supposed convicted felon got his hands on that high-powered semi-automatic rifle. And this, of course, all happening during a government shutdown where airports nationwide are struggling to stay staffed. And if you know anything about the Atlanta airport, you know it's always busy regardless, even without that government shutdown. So back out here live, thankfully authorities reportedly did stop a potential horrific situation. But again, hoping to learn more from APD at the top of next hour.
So that was that. And then I got another one of another person. I think it's pretty much the same thing. But this is an update on the Atlanta airport foiled mass shooting. Now, again, he parked, sounds like right in front of maybe the drop-off zone, is what I'm assuming, allegedly. Listen to this right here.
Found in his vehicle at the Atlanta. A breaking news situation to tell you about here in Atlanta. We're just coming out of a special press conference with Atlanta Police Chief Darren Shearbaum, Mayor of Atlanta, Andre Dickens. What was the message? A tragedy averted, a crisis averted today, Monday, at the world's busiest airport. It's right in our backyard here in Atlanta. We're talking about Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. I'm going to read some of the details because, again, they have just come in. But we have learned that a man was arrested this morning after police say an AR-15 was found in his vehicle at the Atlanta airport. He was apparently, according to police, live streaming his intentions to use it at the airport and shoot it up. Now, police say the 49-year-old's family actually saw that live stream. They alerted police, and investigators moved very quickly. The man was actually taken into custody around 9:54 a.m. inside the airport as he moved about the terminal. Meanwhile, that AR-15 was found in his parked truck outside with 27 rounds. Now, police say the man had a prior felony charge, so at this point, it's not clear how he got his hands on that gun. That's going to be part of that investigation that's ongoing right now. They also believe he deals with mental illness. Now, obviously, this is a breaking news situation, and as we learn more, and our reporter, Cody Alcorn, who's at the airport now, he'll continue to deliver updates throughout the course of the evening. But as we learn more, the message from that press conference was crystal clear. The chief and the mayor both uniting in that message, saying this family did the right thing. They saw something, they spoke up, they alerted police, and possibly, very possibly, saved a lot of lives.
Let's hope so. Again, it sounds like most people we hear about, mental health conditions. But at least they got the guy. He didn't do anything. He didn't have the gun on him at the time. It was in the vehicle, which means he could have went back out to his vehicle and opened fire. So kudos to law enforcement. God bless the fact that we got that taken care of. How about this? Matt Van Swoll put this up. I didn't see anything on it, and I don't have a lot of details. Maybe I can find something else. But it has been confirmed that 2 churches in Western North Carolina were intentionally set on fire last night. Both fires were spotted by citizens who heroically put out the blazes before the churches were significantly damaged. I'm going to show you this one here. You can see the burn marks on the side of the building here. And there was another one here. This is just a picture of the church. But that was 2 of them. Let me see if there's an update on this. See if anybody covered this other than Independent. No, breaking 2 churches in North Carolina, Calvary's Cross Baptist Church and Tabernacle Baptist Church were set on fire and are being investigated as arson. Man, the attack on Christianity is pretty bold right now. It's but the Bible speaks of this. It shouldn't be any shock. Now, we covered, I think it was the beginning of last week, the attacker in the Big Balls attack. Remember when CNN had to say Big Balls? That was great. And got off with 1 year probation. And there was outrage. This is some of the problems they're talking about in Washington, D.C. is the soft on crime policies. Elon Musk even called the judge a racist because Big Balls is white and the offender was black. It looks like U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro announces new charges against the criminals who brutally assaulted Doge's Big Balls, Edward Korenstein, after pretty much what we expect from these liberal judges. They were set
Doge
free. Take
person
a
who was
listen.
working with them. Today, we are announcing that Lawrence Cotton Powell, who is 19 years of age, along with Anthony Taylor, who is 18 years of age, are now charged with assaulting Levine. Cotton Powell was stomping on Levine's head, as you can see in this poster to my left. Levine was able to get up momentarily, but the crowd chased him and got him down again. They continued to attack Levine while he was on the ground, and then proceeded to rob him of his sneakers and his watch. The group then, after the robbery and assault of Ethan Levine, they walked in the direction of where another crime occurred within minutes. You have heard of this crime. Edward Korenstein, a 19-year-old Doge person who was working in the administration, was walking a young woman to her car when he was approached in the 1400 block of Swan Street Northwest. Approximately 10 suspects approached him, and as they did, he pushed the young woman into the car. And he was protecting her from the group before he was then attacked by multiple suspects who then punched him repeatedly, causing significant injuries to him. They got him on the ground, and as they were doing so, they demanded the car from the woman who was inside the car and had already locked the car. They were banging on the car. They were pulling the car door, trying to get the car open, and were telling the woman in the car to hand over the keys. And the woman was, as I said, able to lock the car door, so they were unable to gain entry. And it was fortuitous that someone from the Metropolitan Police Department was on patrol. He happened to pull onto the block, and he witnessed the suspects actually assaulting Korenstein, who was on the ground lying next to the car. The juveniles fled, but within a short period of time, 2 15-year-olds were arrested, and they were taken into the family court by the Attorney General's office. That is the local Attorney General's office. Now, I think what's significant about this case is the history of Lawrence Cotton Powell. I want you to follow me on this. Lawrence Cotton Powell is 19 years of age. He's now charged with robbery, first-degree robbery, for which he faces 15 years in prison. He also faces a charge of assault with intent to commit robbery and another 15 years. And robbery for Edward Korenstein, 15 years. Assault with intent to commit robbery, another 15 years. And attempted carjacking, 5 years. Now, let me tell you his background. On April 3rd of this year, Lawrence Cotton Powell was sentenced for a felony attempted robbery. my office asked for jail time. Judge McLean, a judge sitting in the criminal part in Superior Court with no criminal background, made a decision to give Cotton Powell probation in spite of his conviction on a felony attempted robbery. Within 31 days, by May 4th, Powell reoffends. He's rearrested while he's on probation from the felony, and he's charged with simple assault and possession of a prohibited weapon B. On May 4th, my office asked that probation be revoked. But on May 16th, that same Judge McLean comes back and releases Cotton Powell and tells him basically, be a good boy. On July 24th, he is sentenced to one of the two misdemeanors that he's charged with. Again, my office asked for jail time after he victimized yet another person. And on July 25th, another judge suspends his sentence and decides that he should be on probation. So after a felony of attempted robbery conviction, after a violation of probation, after a second crime, after a second conviction, after no compliance with C. Sosa, the judges say do better and they let him go. And guess what? Within 10 days, he's at it again with Ethan Levine and Edward Korstein. Now, the co-defendant in this case is an individual by the name of Anthony Taylor. He charged also with the same arrest. He is with the same crimes. He is from Maryland. He is 18 years old. We are unaware of any history as it relates to him. I want to thank the Metropolitan Police Department.
Just absolutely insane, guys. Think about that. I mean, I don't know. I just want to say, if that was me, my butt would be locked up. I know that. Even in California, my butt would be locked up. Seems like there's some privilege going around with these judges. And this liberalism that has infected this country and our court system that just allows people to continue victimizing people. Me, you, all these people that are just trying to go out to dinner in DC, and you get busted, you get felony, convicted of felony, probation. You violate your probation 10 days later, probation. There is no consequences for anything, and I'm glad they're exposing this and taking it mainstream. Because, again, this is the same problem that DC's had for years, California's had for years, and it just keeps getting worse.
So
how about this? This is from Speaker Mike Johnson talking about the shutdown. Let me see if this is in the right spot. Yeah, I think it'll work. Take a listen to what Mike Johnson has to say.
And it's also important for us to note, this is the first time in history that any party has to shut down the government over a totally clean, nonpartisan continuing resolution. This is a political stunt, and it's the first time it's been done, and it is the most costly, most selfish, most dangerous political stunt in the history of the United States Congress, because as we have stood here day after day after day explaining all the Americans who are being harmed by this nonsense. And the Senate Democrats have zero shame about this. They don't have any shame at all about the pain that they're inflicting upon hardworking families, upon soldiers and law enforcement officers and veterans and the elderly and the disabled and women, infants, and children. Services to all those categories and paychecks to those folks are being stalled because Democrats are playing games.
That they are. The Schumer shutdown continues. Again, first time in history that a party has shut down the government over a clean, continuing resolution. We did it 13 times. Republicans, even though I wanted the government to shut down, they caved. They caved under, because it was just 13 CRs under Joe Biden, where Republicans said, no, we're not going to shut down the government for this. But Democrats, this is exactly the same thing they voted on. What was it? 9 weeks ago now? 10 weeks ago? And they think they're winning the battle, folks. This is the Schumer shutdown. This is a Democrat shutdown. Take a listen to what Speaker Johnson said here as he was walking away from that press conference. Take a listen.
Will you bring the House back if the Senate passes this on federal workers?
Well, yeah, then the ball will be back in our court, and we'd probably have to do that.
This week? Will you do that this week?
Yes. I don't have any faith that they're going to pass it, though. I think they're going to continue to play games. But
Mr.
we're on a 48-hour notice to return everybody to do work as soon as they'll turn the lights on or do something meaningful like that.
Mr. Speaker, we know.
So, yep, Democrats actually do their job. The House will be back in session. And that's not if they pass the continued resolution. That's just if they pass a bill to pay furloughed workers. That's what Mike Johnson's asking for. We want to pay furloughed workers. We want to make sure people are not going without a paycheck. But Democrats say nope, and they try to blame Trump. But I got some bad news for them. I think a lot of Democrats watch CNN. And the latest polling, take a listen. Take a listen. Trump's rating has gone up under this shutdown.
Shutdowns, net approval about Donald Trump shutdowns, net approval rating. We're talking 20 days into it. In 2018/2019, Donald Trump's net approval rating was already falling. The shutdown was eating into his popular support. It was down 3 points already at this particular point and would fall considerably more. It was very much on the decline. You come over to this side of the screen, this shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. His net approval rating is actually up a point in terms of his popular support. So the bottom line is this. The first shutdown during Trump's first term, 2018-2019, was hurting Donald Trump. This one is not hurting him at all. There's no real reason Donald Trump might say, at least when it comes to popular support, I want to get out of this shutdown.
What about the question of blame?
Yeah, okay. What about the question of blame? Okay, you see here, you see Donald Trump's net approval rating was down 2018 to 2019. You talk about 2025 as net approval rating is up. It comes down to the blame game, a game I loved to play when I was younger. Blame Trump for the shutdown, a great deal. In 2018/2019, 61%, more than 3 in 5 Americans blame Trump a great deal for that particular shutdown. You come over to this side of the screen, look at this. It's a different world. It's a different world. 48% of Americans blame Trump a great deal for this particular shutdown. So it's more than 3 in 5 back in 2018/2019. It's less than half, a drop of 13 points. Again, it's no real wonder that Donald Trump at this point, looking at the shutdown, says, you know what? It's not actually harming me politically, in large part because he's getting less of the blame.
And he's doing things differently during this shutdown.
Yes, exactly right. You know, we talk about Donald Trump and you say, okay, he wants to be a consequential, influential president. Well, if the legislative process is basically freezed up, you know, on Capitol Hill, you may say, well, then he can't actually get legislation through. But that's not how Trump is governing in this term. We've spoken about this over and over and over again. He's using his pen.
He's using his pen. So Democrats, once again, have not realized, even people that's not in the Republican Party know that they can't trust the fake news. They can't get, oh, here comes Chuck Schumer on CNN or MSNBC. They know he's lying. And as you can see, Trump's approval rating went up 1 point. A little bit different than, what was that, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. And so, once again, people know, hey, this is people that do the investigation, whether you want the government shut down. I don't think any of us really want it shut down. We want it to run. We want a limited government that's efficient. We don't need all these departments. But overall, people are sitting here saying, like, all they're trying to do is pass a continued resolution so we could help WIC, women, infant, and children's, so our service members can get paid without Trump having to go to billionaires and get money, so that the TSA agents at the airport can feed their family. And Democrats says, nope, we want them to starve. We want them to lose their housing because they'll blame Trump. And then they're realizing they're not blaming Trump. It's absolutely insane what Democrats are doing to this country. And then he also, Mike Johnson also had another press conference saying that you take a listen, that there's going to be another opportunity. There's going to be another opportunity. We'll see if they take it. And he doesn't think they will. This was about earlier today.
The Senate will once again bring the clean, nonpartisan CR to the floor for a vote. They will have another chance. Democrats will have their 12th opportunity to pass the bill. It is the same bill that they themselves supported just 7 months ago, and Chuck Schumer gave impassioned speeches on the floor about how it was the only option. And don't forget, they did it 13 times under the Biden administration. Very similar measures, but not now. Something's changed. Over the weekend, we saw what it was all about. The Democrats made crystal clear that this is about politics. The politics were on full display. The politics, the spectacle, is what the mobs, the crowds, the rallies this week were all about. It was quite ironic, though. The irony was very glaring. They called it the No Kings Rally. But the great irony, of course, that we pointed out over and over was if President Trump was a king, the government would be open. If President Trump was a king, he would have closed the national parks and the National Mall, so they couldn't have had the rally out here. By the way, that's what President Obama did during the shutdown in 2013, closed all the parks and the National Mall. Here in Washington, you had Senators Bernie Sanders and Chris Murphy and Cory Booker and others marching in the streets. Now, these are the same senators who voted over and over to shut down the legislative branch and hand the reins to President Trump. They're decrying the situation that they themselves created. This has always been about the spectacle. Chuck Schumer himself joined the spectacle in New York City. And it's interesting to note his activities there. He was standing side by side some of the most radical groups that maybe ever assembled on U.S. soil. They openly advertised as co-sponsors of the event in New York City the Communist Party USA, the Democrat Socialist of America, the Freedom Socialist Party, the Young Communist League of New York, many others. Do we need any further evidence? They're not hiding this. They're out.
I love how he points out when Obama shut down, he shut down the National Mall. He shut down the parks. If Trump was a king, there wouldn't be a shutdown. The irony in all this. The irony in all this. It's laughable, folks. It is extremely laughable. And before I move on here, let me pull this up really quick. Where'd it go? Let's see. Oh, it went away. That sucks. There it is. Commercial break. Switching to safer is better and better American-made products has never been easier. Just switch the money you already spend on everyday items like toothpaste, shampoo, detergent, supplements, and more. Switch them over to an all-American company that actually cares about the customers. So if you brush your teeth, wash your hands, do laundry, and keep your home clean, then you too can vote with your dollars by skipping the big box stores and switching to a company that has family values and doesn't put profit over people. Go to switchwithjulie.com to learn more about a convenient way to buy safer, better, and American-made products, guys. All right, so today, President Trump's welcomed the Australian Prime Minister to the White House. And there is some funnies, and there's also some good things for America. And I want to point out when we show you some other videos, this guy looks like he's really nervous around Trump. But this was when he arrived at the White House. Take a look at this. Move this up.
What do you hope to accomplish today with the Prime Minister? A lot. President Trump, sir, your message to the people of Australia. I love that. What do you hope to accomplish today with the Prime Minister? A lot. A lot. Great things. Thank you very much. We got to get a lot done.
So, Prime Minister of Australia, and they did get some things done, as Trump is the master of deals and putting America first. President Trump announced a new deal with Australia on critical and rare earth minerals. Take a listen to this right here.
Before, but we are discussing critical minerals and rare earths, and we're going to be signing an agreement that's been negotiated over a period of 4 or 5 months. And it was sort of good timing that we got it done just in time for the visit. And we work together very much on rare earths, critical minerals, and lots of other things. And we've had a very good relationship. We've been working on that for quite a while. In about a year from now, we'll have so much critical mineral and rare earths that you won't know what to do with them. They'll be worth about $2.
So there's Trump, and then we got a video of him signing that agreement. And then we get into some other stuff, but take a look at this right here.
And then we'll take some questions. Some good ones, I think. Okay.
Well, this is a $8.5 billion pipeline that we have ready to go.
That's right. It's all ready to go.
Just getting started.
And we're doing a real.
And so take a listen to this. One of the questions was the Australian ambassador said something bad about you. And watch. You guys are going to love. That's why I love this, man. It's just a 30-second clip, but take a listen to this.
Even things the ambassador said about you in the past, the Australian ambassador?
I don't know anything about him. I mean, if he said bad, then maybe he'll like to apologize. I really don't know. Did an ambassador say something bad about him? Don't tell me. I don't. Where is he? Is he still working for you?
Yeah.
You said bad?
Before I took this position, Mr. President.
I don't like you either. I don't, and I probably never will. Go ahead.
I don't like you either, and I probably never will. And then look at the face. I want to back this up a little. Look at the Prime Minister of Australia right here. The nervousness right here. Like, oh, look at that. Look at that. Watch this.
You said bad?
Look at him. Look at him.
I took this position, Mr. President.
He's rubbing his hand. Look at him rubbing his hand out of nervousness. He's like, oh my God, I am sitting next to the king.
Before I took this position, Mr. President.
I don't like you either. I don't, and I probably never will. Go ahead.
Oh, man. You know, it's just incredible to see a great business leader in the White House, in the presidency. This man, Donald Trump, we've covered it for years, but it's not talked about enough that what he has done previously in his life, the people that they actually interviewed back in the day that they don't bring up anymore, like the construction worker that's seen a problem with the job and Trump just happened to be on the job site shaking everybody's hand. And they would be like, this before he's president, Mr. Trump, this blah, 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 and come with me. Let's get this taken care of. And he is the people's person. And it's just incredible because, I mean, these rare earth minerals, everything else. And then here you have, this is the way it was framed. The Australians are practically begging President Trump to come to their country and play golf. Take a listen to this really quick. It's just a quick clip here. Take a look at this.
I'll have to give it serious consideration. No, it's a real possibility.
Did the Prime Minister invite you today?
He did.
And perhaps we could time it, must be said, with the President's Cup that Australia hosts as well.
When is the President's Cup?
We'll organise it at a time suitable for you, Mr. President.
Please, in the back.
When is the president's come? We'll organize it sometime soon for you, Mr.
Serious
President.
consideration. No, it's a real.
I just love the respect. And it's not like it's a respect that's commanded. If you've ever met people like that, they walk into a room, they command respect. And these people know who they watch. This guy watches, they see like, we're not going to be on his bad side. How about this? Other breaking news that we wanted to bring to you. Patricia Joy says, thanks for the stream, Josh. Hi, everyone. Hello, Patricia. It says the North Carolina Senate Elections Committee officially approved the Republican congressional map, adding a GOP seat for the 2026 midterm. Take a look at this right here. You have some of these pictures up there. Right there is North Carolina. And he says, thank you to North Carolina's incredible Republican state legislators who just introduced a new, fair, and improved congressional map, a situation I am watching and strongly supporting very closely. It was my great honor to win North Carolina 6 times, including primaries in 2016, 2020, and 2024. And this new map would give the fantastic people of North Carolina the opportunity to elect additional MAGA Republican in the 2026 midterm elections, which would be a huge victory for our America First agenda, not just in North Carolina, but across our nation. Remember, I won the Electoral College 312 to 226. Counties nationwide 2,700 to 525. All 7 swing states, a landslide. And now I have the best polling numbers I've ever had. Our party has never been more united, and we're getting so much done for the American people because of it. Therefore, I encourage all my Republican friends in North Carolina legislature to work as hard as they can to pass this new map so we can continue our incredible record of success. It's wonderful to see Republicans in the Tar Heel state standing up to save our country. Make America great again. Thank you, North Carolina, MAGA 2026. So, all these things happening, guys. All these things happening. Let me see if I have more to this one. Yeah, I'm going to do this one. Also, we had some groundbreaking, and Donald Trump put this post out there, and he says, I am pleased to announce that ground has been broken on the White House grounds to build the new, big, beautiful White House ballroom. Completely separate from the White House itself, the East Wing is being fully modernized as part of this process and will be more beautiful than ever when it is complete. For more than 150 years, every president has dreamt about having a ballroom at the White House to accommodate people for grand parties, state visits, etc. I am honored to be the first president to finally get this much-needed project underway with zero cost to the American taxpayer. The White House ballroom is being privately funded by many generous patriots, great American companies, and yours truly. This ballroom will be happily used for generations to come. President Donald J. Trump. Now, let me pull something up here because there's a lot of people that are a little triggered right here. Gavin Newsom even, like, they're putting stuff out there, and I'll show you a couple. I didn't have them up. I thought I did. That's why I almost didn't pull this up. But where is, let me pull this up. I think it was Gavin right here. Might have been his government account. Let's see. Yeah, let me back that up. It says Trump priorities. Bulldozing the White House. Look at that beautiful picture of the renovation. Check mark. Reopening the government. No check mark. So once again, we know who's shut down. It's a CR. It's a clean CR. There's nothing partisan in the bill. They voted on it 7 months ago, the exact same funding, but now they're playing politics with the American people. And there was more. I just love. You can tell the talking points came out again from the DNC. Let me see. Where'd it go? Here's a picture of that a little larger. Some major renovations there, guys. Take a look at that. Now, let's see. Just in, the White House has begun demolishing portions of the east wing of the White House to build Trump's they call it Trump's $250 million ballroom. That's your ballroom. That's the American people's ballroom. It's not like when a cold comes in 2020 and they shut down the Senate offices and shut down everything to the American people and shut down the People's House, which is the capital of the United States. It says, despite earlier claiming it wouldn't interfere with existing White House structure. There was all kind of folks just triggered, so I thought it was great. What else do we got here? So he was pleased to announce that. How about this? The U.S. Court of Appeals rules that the Trump administration can deploy the National Guard in Portland. We talked about this earlier in the show. I was like, maybe I missed it. I haven't heard anything of it. They've had it for a while. They had it while we were there, the appeals court. So they've ruled in 2-1 favor. And I think we have that here. It says Section 12. This is the appeal. It says says Section 12406 contains no such limitations. Instead, by its plain text, 12406(3) requires only a determination that the president is unable with the regular forces to execute the laws of the United States. The statute delegates the authority to make that determination to the president and does not limit the facts and circumstance that the president may consider in doing so. Indeed, the inherently subjective nature of this evaluation demonstrates that the president has the authority. Now, they're going to take this to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is going to rule the same way. A good win. Before I get into some triggered MSNBC folks talking about this, we're waiting to hear if Trump is going to deploy them after this video we showed you today. In our first show, there is definitely a need for the National Guard down there. Me and Quincy talked about it when we were 2 in the morning when we got back to the hotel, and I was like, what do you think will happen? Will this fire up the commies even more? Will it calm it down because the National Guard's there? What do you think's going to happen? So we are going to play it by ear. I told Rachel when this came down, I might be heading back to Portland. So stay tuned. We might be on the ground in Portland. I am kind of ready to go. I don't have anything that I need to stay here for. So all I would have to do is pack, get a rental car. So just keep that in mind. We might be heading to Portland if things were like we've seen possibly in Los Angeles. We've seen it pretty bad in Los Angeles before. We've seen it without the National Guard, extremely bad in Portland. Attorney General Pam Bondi said today the Ninth Circuit found that POTUS has the right to deploy the National Guard to Portland, Oregon, where local leaders have failed to keep their citizens safe. This follows hard work by the Justice Department attorneys and helped reaffirm a simple truth. President Trump is the commander-in-chief. We will continue fighting and winning in court to defend President Trump's agenda. I thought it was kind of crazy that these liberal activist judges could stop presidential power. We've seen them do it numerous times since he's been inaugurated, since January 20th of this year. And we've also seen that fight go up the chain and Trump end up winning, whether it was laying off people because we're downsizing our government, when it was getting rid of the Department of Education employees, when it was USAID, all these things, and Trump has won. They don't tell you that often. And so there is a possibility we can take that 12-hour drive again. So keep that in mind. How about this? The MSNBC legal correspondent, Lisa Rubin, it says she's visibly upset. Take a listen to this. They don't want the president to have presidential powers.
Onto the street.
And I think the Supreme Court, when our country was founded, the president, I wouldn't say have more powers than they have now, but the control of the country was on the president's shoulder. Yes, we have separation of powers. I understand that. But it was designed that if you elect somebody, it's their will. Yeah, they can't violate the Constitution. They can't. Everything Trump does, according to Democrats, is a violation of the Constitution until it goes to the Supreme Court, and then they learn, oh, he has the right to do this. He's taking down democracy. Just amazing. Take a listen.
It is a big deal, and I want to just correct one thing and then explain why functionally it is the same. This is a stay of Judge Immergut's opinion, and that's why it reached the Ninth Circuit as soon as it did, because this is an emergency motion to essentially pause her order. But as a functional matter, you are absolutely correct. It has the function of overturning her order and thereby allowing the president to send the National Guard back onto the streets of Portland. And Katie, I want to read, if I can, just from a little bit of the beginning of this 93-page opinion. It says, after considering the record, and by the record they mean all the factual evidence at this preliminary stage, we conclude that it is likely that the president lawfully exercised his statutory authority under 10 U.S.C. Section 12406. That's the statute we've been referring to as Title 10 when we have conversations about the National Guard deployments, which authorizes the federalization of the National Guard when the president is unable with the regular forces to execute the laws of the United States. And this is the important part. The evidence the president relied on reflects, quote, a colorable assessment of the facts and law within a range of honest judgment. We thus conclude that defendants are likely to succeed on the merits of their appeal, basically saying that when and if a court considers all of the record in this matter is tried and it gets back to an appellate court through an ordinary process where they have full briefing and full evidence, that they still think Donald Trump is likely to prevail there because he has the discretion to determine as the president within a range of honest judgment when it is reasonable to deploy the guard.
This is what you and I were talking about last week. When you get into the slippery slope of discretion.
Yep. Slippery slope of discretion. He is the president of the United States. I get it that their senators went out there and showed people playing chess and checkers, but that's not what we've seen over this last weekend. That's not what we've seen with the violent No Kings protest in Portland. That's not what we've seen at all. What we've seen was radical Democrats, the arm of the Democrat Party, Antifa, the communists, and everybody else assaulting law enforcement, assaulting federal officials, blocking roads, doing everything that is not part of the First Amendment. So I wonder what President Trump's going to do. Here's a thought. Here's what I would do if I was President Trump. Maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I'd just send him in. But I would say, here's the deal. We are trying to complete ICE operations in the city of Portland. I was elected to do this. This is what the Constitution, this is the oath that they've upheld. This has been laws on the books for a long time. If you block the road, block the entrance or exit, or obstruct any ICE officers, there will be National Guard deployed within 24 hours. Because the National Guard was on standby. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm wrong, but let's just see how it plays out. I don't think he'll give them an opportunity. I really don't. And how about this? Trump also hosted the LSU baseball team, and I just wanted to, I'm not going to play all the hoopla about it, but I do want to say what the LSU coach, Jay Johnson, told President Trump, and I think we can all agree with this. Take a listen.
Mr. President, thank you.
Take a listen to this.
Mr. President, thank you for having us in your home. I think the main thing I take away from you is work ethic. Nobody works harder for America than you, so thank you for setting a good example. Mr. President, thank you for having us in your home.
Nobody works harder
I think,
for America than you. I'd have to agree with that. Stephen Miller's probably a close second. And in other news,
what is
Democrats are panicking right now because of gas prices. There is gas under $2 a gallon. There's gas for $1.99. But the national average now overall, even with California being at $4.69, going as high, Oregon and Portland $4.29, $4.39, even with the crazy left-wing states. Listen to this.
What is the Granholm plan to increase oil production in America?
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Would that I had the magic wand on this. As you know, of course, oil is a global market. It is controlled by a cartel. That cartel is called OPEC, and they made a decision yesterday that they were not going to increase beyond what they were already planning.
So that's kind of a funny right there, right? That's the national average gas price has fallen below $3 a gallon since the first time since 2020. That was Biden's energy secretary laughing when asked about their plan to lower prices. Trump didn't laugh. His team didn't laugh. They said, we're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to lower the cost, which will in turn lower the cost of goods, which will in turn lower a lot of things. Energy, the price of energy controls a lot. Inflation and energy, the two things that we need to hit the hardest in order to make life affordable again. And that's what Trump is doing. And it's 9 months into his administration? Exactly 9 months today. How about this? I noticed this and wanted to bring you guys this. A massive raid at a horse racing site in Wilder, Idaho. This was an ICE raid. Dozens of illegals were detained. Many tried to escape. DHS had surrounded the entire ranch. They captured them in the fields, the porta potties, everywhere. Take a look at this. Trying to make sure it's good on the screen. Man, Idaho. There was a lot of them out there. A lot of them out there in Idaho. Again, this isn't getting a lot of play right now, which is kind of good for ICE and things. You still have those people obstructing ICE and everything like that. But what you see here, look at, you got one hiding in the porta potty. They get that person out. So that, again, in Idaho, folks. I think that was great. And I want you to listen to this. This is Secretary Noem 9 months since POTUS has been in office, and since he began his work to restore the American safety of our families that live here, they have arrested over 480,000 criminal illegal aliens. Take a look.
9 months since President Trump has been in office and since he began his work to restore American safety for our families that live here. What he has accomplished for the American people is nothing short of extraordinary. We appreciate what he has done to make us safe again, to secure our borders, and to make sure that he's protecting our people. Since January, the Department of Homeland Security has arrested over 480,000 criminal illegal aliens. 70% of those individuals have criminal charges against them or have been convicted of those criminal charges. Across the country, we're making communities safer so that families can thrive and they can prosper and they can enjoy the kind of freedom that this country was established to provide. Unfortunately, many times we see the news distorting the truth and not bringing the real facts of the stories to the American people, and that is one of the reasons why we're here today, is to make sure that we're focused on what this office has done, our HSI officers, our ICE officers, the criminals that they've taken off the streets here in this city and also this state, and what we can do to get many of these items, like you see on the table in front of me, out of our communities. You see in front of us illegal rifles, handguns. You see drugs that have been taken off of our streets that are saving the lives of Americans every single day.
So that was that, folks. And for those of you that weren't here earlier, big shout out to Brent for the PayPal. Thank you, Brent. It said right here, Brent, you are appreciated. Thank you so much for your donations. We are 100% viewer funded, guys. Lights, camera, action is all thanks to you, and we appreciate you. And the gifted subscriptions over there on Rumble, my Oreo army, thank you. This was one of the videos I played at the beginning. A lot of you didn't get to see. Let me refresh this right here. But I was trying to help out. I know you guys are going to be a little upset, but I was trying to help out the protesters at the No Kings rally. They very lethargic, didn't have no enthusiasm, and I was like, man. So this was a little video I just posted on X. I haven't gone through all my videos. I haven't even looked at the GoPro footage yet that Robert did, so bear with me. We got to get more time in the day. Take a look at this.
Come on, guys, we're chanting. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Come on, get some enthusiasm out here. The news is going to come by and they're going to act like you all came from a senior center or something. Get that, get up, get up.
Oh, that was great. That was good time. Just trying to help out a little. Do my part, guys. Do my part. Get a little energy flowing. And once again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you all. We are 100% viewer funded. If you would like to donate 5, 10, 50, whatever you want to donate, it helps us out. And again, it helps us pay the bills and helps us travel when we need to travel. So I want to say thank you. If you appreciate the show, thank you so much for your donations and your blessing. You can go to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $ Oreo Army, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo 2024. And we also have Zelle. If you want to do Zelle, mobile, if you do mobile or online banking, you could do a Zelle transfer. That address is going to come up as we exit the screen here, but that is pure, P-U-R-E, Patriot 559 at yahoo.com. Make sure you have your notifications on. There could be something a little later. I don't know if Caden's going to stay with me tonight, if he stays with me. But if he goes to church with Mama, I will be doing a Rumble Premium. It'll be Rumble only for premium subscribers. Want to thank all my Rumble Premium subscribers. And thanks, everybody. Rumble is obviously our main platform. So thank you all. And again, if you donate, we appreciate you. We can't do it without you guys. Have a good evening, guys. We'll see you, if not tonight, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific.
Well, hop aboard the Oreo. and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud. Shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land.